I studied from the moment I got home to the moment I went to bed every single day for weeks on end. And yet my results ended up being just okay. The only thing that I really gained was burnout. You see, I had my big end of semester exam block, and I would say about 2 months before the exam, I decided I was really going to dial it in and focus on my tests. And so what I would do is I would come home around 4, and then I would go to bed like 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, as I'd basically be studying for around 4 hours a day for weeks for my tests. I could not focus at all. It made my brain feel more tired and more confused by the end of the day than when I started. And it was only until a few weeks ago that I actually fixed my burnout and was able to get back into work. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to fix burnout and avoid it in the first place. You see, all that studying I did, it didn't actually make things more clear to me. It made me tired because you see, your brain only has like a certain amount of work it can focus on or do before you're just forcing it to do work. So if I'm going to be honest to you, you can skip this whole video and take one part out of it, and that is to just study less. But don't just do it stupidly. There's a way to do it. After implementing intelligent studying routines, I've been able to focus for longer, actually pay attention in class after a long day of studying the night before. I'm able to complete, honestly, more work in less of a time. I have more time for myself, whether it's to socialize, whether it's to do recreational things, but my mental health is way better without having to sacrifice my academic performance. And that is the core of this video. Let's just cut to the chase and get to the first point on how to cure burnout, and that is to spread it out. You see, most people before exams, they really cram it in. So obviously I spent the first couple weeks before the exam, maybe 2 weeks for 4 or 5 tests. In my opinion, pretty late I left it too. I mean, if I spent 4 hours, that's only 1 hour studying. It's not a lot of time. If you give yourself less time to study more, not only does that increase stress because you have to do more work now, but it also means you have less time to retain that information. Let me explain it to you in a bit more simpler terms. You see, if you were to work out, right, and you needed to be in the gym for, let's say, 100 hours, that was your goal. Do you think it would be better to do 10 hours for 10 days straight, or 100 days of 1 hour each? Well, obviously you would build way more muscle in the 1 hour per 100 days because you're consistently showing up 100 days. You give yourself time to recuperate, for your body to get back to where it was, and on top of that, 100 days of working out, that's a long time. Whereas if you 10 hours of 10 days, it's only going to cause fatigue. You probably won't even build that much muscle with 10 hours of working out. There'll be more fatigue than growth. And if you think about it, studying works the same way. If you want to know how this would look like for an exam setting, let's say you had a big maths exam coming up and you wanted to get in 50 hours of study for the exam. 50 hours is a lot of time. If you did that much studying, you would be set for this exam. There are 2 ways that you can go about this. The usual way, 10 hours in 5 days. And now that you understand what we just talked about, you would know that 5 days, 10 hours, there is no chance you're remembering anything. That's just impossible. And 10 hours, who has 10 hours of attention span? It's just not possible. But if we gave ourselves, let's say, 25 days, so less than a month, and we did 2 hours of studying per day, imagine how much better we would retain the same information. It's the same amount of studying in volume-wise, and yet when you spread it out, there's way less stress, there's way less impact on your mental health, and at the end of the day, there is way less burnout. So, for this next point, you have to understand that at the start of the video, when I said study less, I didn't mean study in the same way less. The last point I just made, I said that you should study the same volume but spread it out. But what if we could actually study less volume and get more out of it? Then you can do that if you increase the efficiency of the studying methods you're using. Now, obviously, if you want to find that out, you came to the right channel because that's what we're about here. But to not waste your time, I'm going to give you a couple. There is active recall. So basically quizzing yourself without notes. You learn something and then you take a break from it, you give yourself time, your brain to kind of digest that information, and then without the source you use to learn the information, you try and recall what you learned. That way you're forcing your brain to practice pulling that information out of your brain, basically. The next step is spaced revision. So that's basically, instead of cramming in 1 hour, you spread it out over, 1 day or something like that. You're basically just giving yourself more time to learn information so that your brain retains the information at a better rate. The third is visual notes and diagrams. Visual, like drawing your notes rather than just writing words, will help you retain information better. If I got you to write a sentence about how two mountains, when there's water in the middle, separates, you wouldn't really remember it after a week or two. But if I got you to do a drawing of water running through two mountains and then the mountains separating, and I said, hey, remember that drawing that you made about the two mountains? You say, oh yeah, the water separates it through the middle. It's because the human brain was not wired to really remember words on a paper nearly as much as it was wired to remember instances or events. And a drawing, especially when you're creating the drawing yourself and then remembering it and visualizing it, your brain is doing so much thinking, there's so much effort, mental effort going into creating something that takes the same time as just writing the words. And that way, when something is more important to your brain retains the information better. And finally is higher order thinking. This doesn't really work for everything, mostly like English based, but there is something I've talked about in my other videos. It's called Bloom's taxonomy. And basically what it is it's a triangle with the levels of understanding. As you go higher, it's higher order thinking, which makes your brain process or think more about the given concept. So the bottom level is like identify or learn or remember, whereas the top level is create, it's synthesize. And you can see when you create something, you need a way better understanding than to just remember something and memorize it. So when you do this higher order thinking, not only will it be better for tests, because if you get high level questions, you'll be able to tackle them better, but it will also help you because your brain will retain the information better. Okay, so this next point is basically understudy. Now I know that sounds absolutely great and also sounds ineffective. But what I mean by this is give yourself less time to study, basically. If you need to learn a concept and you give yourself an hour, the odds are you'll spend 30 minutes of that time bludging. When you have less time to complete a task, you put far more effort into the task, increasing efficiency without changing your method of studying, without changing how you study. Let me give you an example. If I told you you had to run 50 kilometers, you would say absolutely not. You would walk it. Because you can't run that long, right? Your brain tells you that's too long. I'm not going to put 100%. But if I told you that you have to travel by foot, half a kilometer, you would run as fast as you can to get it done with. It's better to give 100% of effort in 5 minutes. 5 minutes of focused work than waste 60 minutes and just focus for the last 5 minutes. You may as well cut out the first 55 minutes and just do 5 minutes of focused work. Evidently, it's not going to cause burnout because you're studying less, giving your brain more time to remember, but you're actually getting more work done, so you don't get the stress that causes burnout. That's it for this video. I've made this channel to tackle two major things, basically. I want to make studying more fun for people, and I want to get rid of the idea of intelligence and that only a certain group of people can get good grades. I believe that anyone can get good grades. If this helped you, and only if this helped you, watch our other videos, because if this video provided value, I'm sure that we have some other videos that could also provide you value. So yeah, thank you for your time and use it wisely.